previous mayoral candidates who were described as being valuable assets to draw from, employing them as part of this committee. So there's been some discussion about using resources outside of council, outside of city government, trying to make it as open as possible, this effort to make our government open. And now what I read in the handout tonight, it's a very simple, short resolution that says essentially that city council will become the committee. So wondering what happened to the possibility of other people being involved, and why the effort to open city government is becoming more closed in the last 2 days.
It's not becoming more closed. It's going to be held, all these meetings are going to be held right here in these chambers. So the public will have the opportunity to come in. They will be able to offer their expertise, and it will be just like a hearing in front of city council. And we're going to work forward on it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The creation of open data policies, is that be similar to like Philadelphia's 401, where you just look up an address and see all the information on the property concerning inspections or violations?
That's going to be part of the discussion, but the big part of it is you're going to be able to look at the budgetary stuff right online and get your answers that a lot of people ask in this forum.
All right,
Seeing nobody else from the public? Mr. Helen?
Ms. Moda?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Zuko?
yes.
Mr. Clay?
Yes.
Zappa?
Yes.
Mr. Reedy?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
That's 78.
Thank you very much, Mr. Halen. And if I can suspend our own rules for just a second, I told everybody earlier that the mayor and I went up to a reception with some people from Billings, Montana, and I see that a couple of them have entered the room, and I don't want to put them on the spot, but if you would please, the people from Billings, Montana who are in visiting Allentown, could you kindly stand up and just tell us who you are and hi. Welcome.
I'm Brandon Scala from Billings, Montana. I work at credit union there. We're actually in town visiting your downtown PL Center. We're entertaining doing the same kind of development in our hometown, so we wanted to see how successful you folks were. I can tell you right now, you guys have a phenomenal town, phenomenal people, leadership. It's just been a blessing to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. My name is Dan Brooks. I'm with the Billings Chamber of Commerce. Just echo Brandon's comments here about you have a wonderful, welcoming community. Thank you for hosting us, and we wish you the best.
I'm Katie Easton. I'm the CEO of the Downtown Billings Alliance, and we have been warmly welcomed by the city of Allentown. And we really are excited to have visited your city as an aspirational visit. There are a lot of things you guys are doing that the city of Billings can aspire to in the transformation that you've made. We're excited to see the rest of Lehigh Valley in the next couple of days. But thank you so much for the welcome, and thank you for acknowledging us.
Thank you. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I just wanted people to know that we have a contingent of 60 people from Billings, Montana visiting Allentown. So thank you very much. Okay, now if we can go to Bill 17, please, Mr. Hanlon.
Bill 17 is an ordinance providing for the penalties related to the possession and personal use of marijuana and the personal possession of marijuana paraphernalia.
All right, this is going to be referred to a committee of the whole, which is probably more than likely going to meet next Wednesday. Mr. Hanlon will post that. At that point in time, we will take any kind of input from the public. I mean, if anybody wants to be heard tonight, again, but the bill's just being introduced and it's going to go to the committee of the whole, so we're going to sit here again next week and hear testimony. Seeing no one, all right, that's going to the committee of the whole. All right, bill number 18 then. Oh, I'm sorry.
Again, my name is Matthew Schroeder. I live at 4346 Sheller Drive, Allentown, PA. And my question is, on this decrim bill, is it the same language as the Bethlehem bill? Pretty much. Okay. And that's all I have really, to be honest with you, is this, just wondering if it was the same language and I would appreciate your support on the bill.
Thank you very much, and check the website and it'll tell you when the hearing's gonna be, but again, most likely Wednesday, but it could change. We'll know tomorrow. Yes, ma'am?
I would like to speak about this topic because unfortunately I won't be able to come up next Wednesday. My name is Christina DiArcangelo Pooler. I am the CEO of Affinity Biopartners, Affinity Bioceuticals, and Affinity Patient Advocacy. I have been a biotech professional for 21 years. I am a strong proponent and advocate for the decriminalization for medical cannabis, for the fact that medical cannabis patients need to be able to carry the medical cannabis on their person as they have their medical cannabis card, as allowed by the state of Pennsylvania. One of the reasons why it's very important for these people to be able to have access, which was already approved by the state of Pennsylvania, as you all know, the 17 conditions that these people are allowed to receive treatment for the medical cannabis, and they have unmet medical needs. It is important that they can walk down the street with their prescribed product in their pocket and not have to worry about being arrested because someone happened to smell something while they're on the street. This is a big switch for me as a professional to get into the medical cannabis space, as I've been in the traditional biotech industry, as I mentioned, for a very, very long time. But I watched my father die at 62 from stage 4 liver, lung, and stomach cancers. That's what Affinity Patient Advocacy is for, is that we provide advocates to patients at no cost for people who have cancer. Back in 2015, medical cannabis in the state of Pennsylvania was not approved. I watched my dad suffer for 2 months, less than 2 months, every day. I watched all of his organs fail in front of me. It's very important that this gets passed so that people can live their life and try to take care of themselves. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You look familiar.
Good evening. Jeff Reedy, 905 7th Avenue, Bethlehem. President McLean, council members, Mayor O'Connell, city administrators, and citizens. I stand before you as the executive director of Lehigh Valley Normal, the Valley's largest voice for the reform of our antiquated marijuana laws, and the local chapter of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Today I am here to encourage you to consider marijuana decriminalization measures in the city of Allentown. At its heart, arrests for small amounts of marijuana equate to a bad start for many. And for others, it's a life sentence without available opportunities. But we believe that you can end this pattern locally. I was going to start today's speech with a brief history of the bias suppression weighed upon cannabis users across this country, from before 1937's Marijuana Prohibition Act through Nixon's formation of the DEA in 1971, labeling cannabis and hemp a Schedule I narcotic defined as having no known medical use. While marijuana consumption is equal across all ethnicities, it should be noted that minorities are arrested at a rate of 6 to 1. That's 6 to 1. These arrests are often the result of a simple roadside scratch and sniff, as the smell of marijuana is enough to warrant engagement and of roadside search and seizure. How will the officer react? Using the discretion of the facts and situation. Ladies and gentlemen, I grew up here on the streets of Allentown. We smoked pot in parks. We smoked pot on the streets, in our cars, as it was our social apparatus. I stand before you today, a 60-year-old Lehigh Valley resident. I could have been another statistic, but I was afforded the kindness of an officer's discretion in my youth more than once. Some of my friends have not been so lucky. Many across the Lehigh Valley were not so lucky this last year. Nearly 900 were arrested for a small amount of marijuana. Yes, marijuana has long been misunderstood, but that opinion is changing. These arrests for small amounts of marijuana are just another example of a failed war on drugs, a war that all of Americans want ended. As we begin to push state legislators for statewide legislation, you can act locally, as have Philly, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, York, State College, and Erie. While I struggle in our state capital to push lawmakers to act, we can stop the growing arrest tallies in the Lehigh Valley and the tyranny of outdated and misinformed courts and set an example across Pennsylvania. Having spent the day with legislators in Harrisburg today, trying to persuade stubborn, longtime legislators of the merits of a bipartisan, statewide decriminalization bill, I can tell you that the process is slow. The distractions are many and the divide seems to grow daily, especially with the ongoing redistricting fights in Harrisburg. Bipartisanship is not an easy sea to navigate at times, anywhere. Sometimes it takes the courage of local legislators and a smaller fight to force the hand of our representatives in Harrisburg, Allentown, continue the revolution for reform and be courageous. I ask for another minute to finish. Thank you. As I stated, marijuana is not harmful, but the needless and unnecessary arrests for small amounts of marijuana have destroyed lives and families. Local decriminalization will ease the workload of law enforcement, lighten the burdens in our courts, and begin the process of reforming antiquated laws that adversely affect our young people and minorities in particular. This can be done, ladies and gentlemen. In the words of Representative Barry Joswiak, a former state trooper and author of HB 928, legislation sitting in Harrisburg for statewide decriminalization, he says, I would encourage Allentown and other communities across the state to follow the examples of Philly and Erie and pass local ordinances pushing state lawmakers to act, and under his breath, until we get our shit together. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to consider this in Allentown. It can be done, it should be done, and I do think with the help of the citizens and the support of citizens, you can make this happen in Allentown. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, Council. My name is Severin Freeman. I live on Watkins Street in Bethlehem. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Lehigh Valley Cannabis Coalition and on behalf of patients, because I am one. I know what it's like to be called a criminal and to have to look over your shoulder to medicate, because I've lived it my entire life being a Pennsylvania resident. I had to enter the jails because of use of my medication. So I know firsthand what it feels like, and it's not pleasant. And I'm here to tell you guys the gravity of the medical program in Pennsylvania. Because what is not understood at this point is how far we've come, but the amount of people that are being excluded. You think that you can just tell somebody that they qualify and that's good enough, but it's not. I can't help somebody that has the same condition because they don't have enough money to qualify to go to a doctor and get their card. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, I have the same condition as you, I know that your medication can help, can you help me? I can be jailed and they can be jailed if I help them. And I can lose my card. That's wrong. That's not right. This is a medication, and there are plenty of people in this room that are professionals that can go over the medical benefits of this, that can tell you all of the outdated laws and all of those things. But what I can tell you is from firsthand experience, $1,500 is what I had to spend to get my medical card and my first month's medication. Allentown's median income for a family is $37,000. Where are your sick residents supposed to turn when they have these conditions and they cannot afford it? There is no help currently for poor people in this program. This is a program designed for the sick, but it's only helping the wealthy sick currently. We've come a long way, but we have a long way to go, and I ask council to consider that there are people that truly can benefit that don't deserve to be called criminals and have to feel like they're gonna go to jail if they medicate. Help people, help people. That's what you're here for. You can be the progressive council that stepped forward in the Lehigh Valley and said, no more jailing sick people. I thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, sir. Now you're on.
Speaking on the decriminalization of marijuana, and I really hope that this bill passes in Allentown, because for me, being 18 and a student at LCRC, it seems completely absurd that I can lose my financial aid, won't be able to transfer, have problems with housing. Like, me being 18 and my life to be affected for the rest, like forever, over a small amount of marijuana, it just seems absurd. And I hope that the city council district.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't know how many times I'm gonna come. I don't, but I just wanna ask you, I don't know, I'm fighting with my doctors as far as this marijuana, and I know I'm gonna get it, but it's not a point of getting it. But I know it's legal. And I worked at the courthouse for 15 years. I had to quit due to my health. It hurts me because I'm used to working. I take at least 30 pills a day. I'm only 55. I don't know if I fight my doctor, she will not let me do this medical marijuana. I have very severe asthma. My pulmonary doctor said that it would not make sense for me to take the medical marijuana because of my asthma. But I say to you, if I can do this medical marijuana, I think it would help me. I have the gastro bypass due to the fact that I have to be on steroids for the last 10 years. It has decreased and destroyed my body. Nobody should be on steroids every day for the last 10 years. I was 5'7", I'm 5'4". That's how it has deteriorated my bones. They call my body a cushion body. That's how bad, if I hit my own body, I will get black and blues. Please, if you can help at least somebody to get this passed, I ask you, please, it will help, honestly. I tell you, it will help people some kind of way. To honestly means that to take at least 30 pills a day, a 55-year-old lady who worked all her life, 39 years, and I have to sit at home and cannot go to work, and who had a mother who was the first black female barber in the Lehigh Valley, and also was an LPN, and who made her children go to work. And I cannot work because of my health, and who got a degree in criminal justice. It's not fun. I wanna work. I don't wanna sit at home. And if I could take some medical marijuana, as this lady said, to help me, I appreciate it. And that's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
My name is Adam Viola. I'm a resident here of Allentown. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. Over the last 2 decades, I've been very lucky to have traveled around the world throughout Canada and US and Europe. I firsthand have seen children who have had 5 to 10 seizures a day. My close friends be able to use medical marijuana to stop their seizures. People who have extreme speech impediments be able to have conversations. My mother is 78 years old and has stage 4 cancer. She is part of the Pennsylvania medical marijuana program. The medication that she has to take is something like $13,000 a month or something through her insurance. The medication makes her throw up, she can't sleep, she's nauseous. And using the tinctures here that she's able to get in minutes is able to take away, her nausea and things like this. Again, like the other patient here was saying, the medication is very, very expensive, and it runs out. Even the dispensaries are unable to keep up with the patients here in Pennsylvania. Decriminalizing, I believe, will help on so many levels, especially that we have to recognize that we have an opiate epidemic with our children. We have pills pills and painkillers being flooded throughout the schools, hard drugs, alcohol, all of these things that we kind of seem to turn a blind eye to. While medical marijuana and marijuana doesn't seem to have any overdoses. We don't seem to have any kind of proof of anyone dying or overdosing from marijuana. As I said, I grew up in Philadelphia. I've been lucky, like the other gentleman said, to have been caught here and there with police, and I've never had been taken in. Police in Philadelphia have always just taken a small amount of marijuana, and this is even before decriminalization. I love the Lehigh Valley. I'm so happy to be a resident here. And as soon as I heard that this was what's happening, I wanted to be here and just state my opinion here. But I think it can do nothing but good. Like I said, I've traveled all around the world and places where, including Billings, Montana, but places all around the world where it's either decriminalized or it's recreation. I think we see nothing but good from that. We can look at Colorado, Washington, Oregon, and even look here in Maine, where it's been decriminalized for a very long time, and it works. So I just ask as a citizen to please consider passing the bill.
Thank you, sir. You only get one shot. The gentleman in the blue shirt was next.
Sure. I thought that it said that you're allowed to.
No.
No?
One.
I apologize.
That's all right. Sir.
Good evening, thank you for having us. My name is Devin Bridgman. I've been a lifelong resident of Lehigh Valley. I'm also a small business owner here in the Lehigh Valley, and our mission is to focus on the community and bring the community together. And so far, we have started 2 petitions. One is to expand the conditions accepted and considered to qualify for medical marijuana in the state of Pennsylvania. And within 2 weeks of these petitions, we have received over 1,000 signatures by the community who are in favor of the expansion of the conditions, as well as in favor of home cultivation for patients and caregivers to make it a little bit more compassionate and allow a lot more people to benefit from this medicine. As a member of this community for the last 22 years, all of my life, I've seen both sides of the story. I've seen families torn apart. I've seen the head of the household taken over a small possession charge. That trickles down all the way through to the smallest child has to grow up without their father or their mother, or vice versa. It really does affect the family. I've seen traffic stops turn violent from people who have small possession and they are scared to go to jail. I've seen protests on either side, but what I'm here to do today is tell you guys that decriminalization does work and it will help Lehigh Valley in the long run, and I hope you guys do consider that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, again, this will be coming up next week.
Very short, if I promise. My name is Emma Ye. I live on 25th and Livingston, and I'll try to keep most of my comments for next Wednesday. But I would just like the council to consider the cost to taxpayers that it takes to incarcerate a person being charged for such a small possession of marijuana, and what else could be done with that money instead of incarceration for small amounts of marijuana.
That was pretty to the point, thank you. All right, that's going to go to the committee of the whole for next week. Mr. Hanlon, bill number 18.
Bill 18 amends the 2018 solid waste fund budget by transferring $137,700 from their appropriate balance to cover unbudgeted expenses.
That will go to Mr. Grudy, Budget and Finance.
Thank you very much, sir.
Bill number 19.
Bill 19 amends the 2018 capital fund budget by transferring funds of money from the marriage fund for work that has been completed.
Yeah, I was just waiting for a minute to you do understand that that's my job to make the jokes, right? All right, that sounds like that should go to Mr. Greedy also, am I right?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bunch of money.
All right, bill number
Bill
20.
20 amends the 2018 general fund budget by transferring $12,500 from the appropriate balance to correct the appropriation of a redevelopment assistance grant. Sacred Heart.
Why give it to somebody else? Mr. Greedy. Have fun.
Bill number 21 amends the 2018 capital fund budget by transferring from capital project 1243 water system security upgrades to capital project 1247 automatic meter reading, the amount of $50,000.
Okay, Mr. Greedy, you're on a clean sweep here so far. Let's see what else we can do.
Thank you. Committee of the Whole.
Okay, resolution number R63.
R63 recommends the State House and Senate make position of personal use of small amounts of cannabis as summary offense revenue.
And that will be the same committee of the whole that we have for bill number 17. New business. Good and welfare, Ms. Moto.
Yeah, what I would like to say is, I would like to congratulate the East Side Fire Department and the Red Cross and the wonderful volunteers. They had a great event on Saturday. They went out to the community at the East Side, and they were putting fire safety alarm, and they were saving lives. It was great. We went out and we were giving fire alarm, and the community, they were very appreciative. And they opened the door, and it was really amazing. There was a lot of people who did not have fire alarms, and hopefully, they're going to be able to do this all over the community.
Yeah, and the fire department is active in that, and I
Very active.
I wholeheartly agree with you with your compliments of the fire department in doing that. And it's a shame in today's day and age that there are people without smoke detectors.
They had like over 80 volunteers.
Yeah, that's great for the volunteers.
Hopefully we'll get more.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to mention Mr. Councilman Zuko and I were honored to both participate in a ceremony from the Lehigh Valley Labor Council at the Workers' Memorial in Bethlehem about, I think, a little less than 2 weeks ago. And I know, Mr. President, you weren't able to make it because you were out of town. But one of the nice things is an annual ceremony they put on to read the names of workers that have been killed. They read them. Their annual tradition is to read them from 100 years ago. They also read the names of any workers who have died on the job in the last year. And our fire department was well represented there with their honor guard and several other people, because they read the name of Battalion Chief Robert Schock and Richard Schock. I'm sorry, yes, I said it as soon as I said it. Who his death was a few years ago, but it was classified as a line of duty death from cancer related to work that he had done over the years in the fire department. So his inclusion was very much appreciated, and I would say that both Councilman Zuko and I were very honored to be there for that. Thank you, Mr. President.
And I would thank you both for being there. And Mr. Hendricks and I both knew Mr. Schott. We started on the police department all together, and he went to the fire department. So it was sad to lose him. Anything else for good and welfare? Motion to adjourn. Second? So be it. We're adjourned. Thank you.